Hello everyone, my name is Abeera Akhtar and I'm from Pakistan, and this is my story of trying to take my nation from apathy to empathy. So in our fraught world where conflicts rage and refugees continue to face peril, politicians equivocate about matters that are vital to the well-being of their populations, it is important for us to engage with one another with what is perhaps our quintessential human instinct, empathy. Yet, sadly, our ability to empathize seems to be compromised. During my senior year, an instructor called for students who wanted to be part of the Adventure Partners global peer-to-peer competition. The brief was daunting: create a localized anti-extremism campaign. As our team of 5 coalesced, little did we know that in that one meeting, our priorities in life will completely change. Now, growing up in Pakistan, where extremism was so pervasive, one issue kept rearing its head again and again: how lives lost had just become numbers, and I was as much to blame as anyone else. Like, talking about drones, bomb blasts, and casualties had just become dinner table talk and pushed aside. But when the bomb blast was 2 minutes from my sister's school, that was when fear struck and it truly hit us, because now it was close to home. The more we talked to people, conducted surveys, and polled focus groups, the more we realized how ubiquitous this notion was across all age groups, genders, and ethnicities. And it was disturbing, because if you lose the ability to humanize, how can you truly connect with people and understand where they're coming from? That is where FATE came in. So FATE stands for From Apathy to Empathy, and through FATE we want to provide a counter-narrative about Pakistan globally and reinstill humanity within our people. And so thus began weeks of madness. We started with a simple social media campaign, which caught on and received responses not just from Pakistan, but nations as diverse as India, Nepal, Bangladesh, Canada, Brunei. We engaged leading activists such as Gibran Nasir and the late Asma Jahangir, collaborated with the local rock band to reclaim public spaces for art, and we engaged middle school children and talked to them about empathy and how they could inculcate it in their daily lives. We took our peers to interact with the minorities around the area and also connected anecdotes and narratives about people who had lost their lives to extremism, ensuring that even in death, they were more than just numbers. So we got selected to represent Pakistan at the US State Department, and our entire university celebrated with us. However, it was in that moment that we also realized that we ourselves had gotten so caught up in the logistic once again that we were losing sight of the bigger picture. And the moment where this hit me will stay with me for always, because it was 1 year to the horrific Army public school attack, whose inhumanity forever etched that day into our memories. And even as you remember that day, it is with one number: 144. 144 innocent lives lost, souls gone. And when we reduce it to a number, it takes away from the stories of these children, their dreams, their likes, loves, and memories. Now, so what we did was we went and gathered the stories of these people and captured them in the flags that you currently see on screen. It was as I was placing the bags on the ground, which were then donated to public schools, that it really hit me that each bag actually represents a child who will never go to school himself, will have no more memories. And for the next 3 days, these stories floated amongst us as we walked from one classroom to another, and they shook us and made us ponder. Empathy in these moments, it was around us, but at what cost? So one issue that we constantly faced was how to quantify something that is as subjective as empathy. So the Technology for People initiative reached out to us and took us to a conference where peacemakers were connected to technologists. We left this conference with a grant and the idea for the creation of a video game. So now this video game had 5 multi-religious children who were stranded in a forest, and the students playing them will be making decisions for them. As a predominantly Muslim country, our hypothesis is that the students will favor the Muslim child and discriminate against the minorities. And we have a long way to go. We've made a lot of developments to the game, and now we also have psychologists, lecturers on board who are helping us take it forward. The eventual aim is to track the baseline that is present within discrimination within the youth, and then track the changes to the intervention measures that we're doing. So when we eventually went to the US State Department, we won the competition. Post that, FATE has represented itself at conferences, at the US Special Officers Command, United Nations, and Facebook. However, what really stayed with us were stories of the people that we met at these conferences, as is the case with AMENDS. And because individual stories, they really trigger empathy. And I think nowhere has that been more evident than when the plight of Syrian refugees was brought to worldwide attention when the picture of Alan Kurdi, the 3-year-old, was photographed lying on the beach. 1 million, 2 million, 3 million as a number doesn't impact us, but give the number a face, and it does. And once again, I am forced to ask, why does empathy come at such high a cost? So our goal is simple, to drill in the notion that each life matters. If you lump people together, you take away their individual humanity. However, if you look past the difference, peaceful coexistence is possible. Tolerance is not a myth. Now, the game that we've developed is not just restricted to Pakistan, because the 5 characters are a Christian, a Muslim, a Sikh, a Hindu, and a Jew. And so hence this can be used as an intervention tool across various nations. Through AMENDS, I want to be connected to various peace-building organizations in different countries. And given how universal an issue this is, you can tackle it in a lot more simpler ways by looking past the stats, the media hoopla, and just looking at the humanity that connects us all. So the situation looks bleak, but change is possible. And hence, I would like to end with the words of a famous Pakistani progressive poet, Habib Jalib. He says, "Ye waqt guzar jayega, this too shall pass. Raat andheri aayi hai, din khushiyon ka bhi aayega. The night of darkness is here, but the day of happiness is yet to come. Ye waqt guzar jayega, this too shall pass." Thank you.